Hi, this is Randy from Friday's Golf, and welcome. Today we're going to do a club comparison for completely selfish reasons, and what I mean by that is I've recently acquired two new drivers. One is the Great Big Bertha Epic from Callaway Golf. The second is the new PING G400 driver. Now, I've had a chance to take both of these clubs out on the golf course. I've played multiple rounds with each, so I feel like I have a pretty good understanding of how they perform on course. But today, I want to take them inside my hitting bay, and I want to hit them on the GC2 launch monitor with Pro V1 balls. Now, both drivers are 44 inches long, and in the Epic, I have the standard Epic head in 9 degrees, dialed down to 8 degrees. I have the Speeder 665 Evolution 2 Tour Spec shaft and stiff flex. And before I get a bunch of questions about it, yes, there are two weights in this head. They're slightly smaller than the original weight that comes in the standard Epic. And the reason is because I have length taken off this driver, and Callaway throws two weights in the head there to kind of offset some of that lost swing weight. In the G400, I have a very similar setup. It's the standard G400 head, 9 degrees aloft, dialed down to 8 degrees. I have their stock Tour 65 shaft, stiff flex. Now, the reason I went with the standard head in each model is because I'm looking for a little bit more spin. And what I mean by that is that the Alpha I used to play, when I would hit it right on the center, I'd get 2,000 RPMs of spin. It was perfect numbers. But when I would miss-hit that club, the spin rates, especially on the toe side, it'd be down in like the 1400s, and it was just uncontrollable at times, especially when I wasn't striking the ball that well. So I went with clubs with a little bit higher MOI, and all that really means is that the center of gravity is pulled back away from the face. It's going to increase the spin a little bit, but I don't want to think of these as high spinning drivers because the center of gravity is also very low because one, in the Epic, you have the carbon composite crown, and in the G400, they've shaved away that dragonfly to put weight lower. So it kind of counteracts that center of gravity being stretched away from the face by putting it low, so it keeps the spin rates very manageable. I want to take both clubs onto my GC2 launch monitor. I want to hit 10 shots with each. I'm going to do 5, 5, 5, 5, switch it back and forth there. Without any further delay, let's go hit the shots on the launch monitor. I'll come back, I'll discuss the data with you, and I'll also compare that with what I saw on the golf course, and we'll see if that's consistent, and hopefully help me make up my mind of which one of these drivers I'm going to put in my bag.
With a bitter taste, it ends so sweet. Lost in words, and where ends meet. I thought you were sober, I didn't think you would break. As you sat down, got around as you lay wide awake. And though you're contradicting everything that you said, every day you can't help but wonder if you'll make it out of bed. Time was on your side till you gave it away. When you got high, got drunk, you pissed away your life every day. Ain't it a shame?
All right, so I finished hitting my shots with each driver. What I want to do is basically just run through the data with you on each club, give you a little bit of a comparison, and then tell you how this data reflects what I saw on the golf course. So without any delay, let's just get right into it. On the Epic driver, the average ball speed is at 158.9, average launch angle is at 13 degrees, total spin average is at 2357, average carry distance 274 yards. With the G400 driver, average ball speed was at 156.6, average launch angle at 12.7 degrees, average total spin 2326, average carry distance 271 yards. Those are okay numbers for me. 13 degrees of launch is good. 2,300 RPMs of spin is a little high. That's kind of at the ceiling that I would like to see my spin rate for my ball speed. Typically, I get better results as far as total distance at around 2,000, somewhere in that ballpark. But as I stated earlier, I played the higher spinning versions of these heads because I didn't want to sacrifice any of that MOI. So I can deal with 2,300 RPMs. With the Epic, we're at a slightly higher launch. We're at 13 degrees as opposed to 12.7, but I mean, that's not even really a story there. That's almost identical. Same story with the spin rate. You're at 2357 with the Epic. You're at 2326 with the G400. Once again, almost identical spin rates. Carry distance, 274 with the Epic, 271 with the G400. Now, the bigger story here is the ball speed difference. With the Epic, we're at 158.9, with the G400 at 156.6. So we're over 2 mile an hour faster ball speed with the Epic. And I wish that I could have a more constructive conversation about strike, because I don't have an HMT device on my unit. So everything that I have to tell you about strike is really just about where it fell and off of the data here. So now let's take this data and let's compare it to what I saw out on the golf course. When I hit the Epic, it was noticeably longer. I would say anywhere from 7 to 10 yards consistently out on the course. And the data here kind of shows that. I think with the Epic, my longest carry was 284. With the G400, we were at 277. So the Epic was longer. I don't even think that's debatable. I noticed that when I went out and played. Now that I have the numbers to support that, Epic is farther. The G400, for me, was much more consistent as far as shot dispersion. And I don't mean shot dispersion just left to right. If I show you this graph here, not only was the G400 a tighter shot dispersion, but it was also from front to back. And we don't talk about that a lot when we compare drivers. We talk more about, how accurate, from left to right, shot dispersion, how wide is that shot dispersion. But it's also important to note that when you miss hit a driver, you don't only want to talk about your shots left to right, you also want to talk about your shots from the longest to the shortest. Because when I miss hit a drive, I still want it to go far. I don't want to lose any distance on it. And we can see from this graph here that when I mishit the G400, or let's say we just didn't catch it as well, it still produced pretty consistent numbers. So it not only was a little bit straighter, but for me, it also gave me a little bit more consistent distance. It didn't give me consistently longer distance. It just gave me more consistent distance. Once again, this information is for me. This is just the process I like to go through before I put a new driver in my bag, because typically when I put a club in my bag, you guys know, it stays there for a while. And I'm just happy that what I've gathered here reflects what I saw on the course. So now I can kind of make an informed decision on what club I want to put in my bag going forward. At this point, I'm not 100% sure what I'm going to do. I like the distance that I get off the Epic, but I like the consistency that I get off the G400. I feel confident standing over the Ping that when I hit it, I'm going to find a fairway, or at least close to, whereas with the Epic, I'm confident when I'm standing over it that I'm going to obliterate it. But this is a good problem to have. I have two drivers that give me consistent numbers, they give me confidence on the tee. It's just a matter of which path I want to go down. So regardless of which one where did they go? If you want to see your drivers again, pick up the phone. Hello?
What's up, bro?
Who is this?
This is the #1 driver of 2016 and 2017. And if you ask me another question, you never see your precious drivers again, bro.
Listen, I'll do whatever you want. Just don't hurt them.
My demands are simple. Write a rap song declaring me the longest, straightest driver of all time. Don't do it, Randy. His drives are weak. Quiet.
Don't worry, I'm coming for you.
You know my demands, bro. Now it's time for me to play with my new friends.
Hello? Hello?
Alright, so which one of you want to be a 12-degree first?